All right, equations is a good little topic because as long as you can remember doing the opposite, the process, you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So let's go through that process so that you will remember it. When you are solving equations, you are trying to get the pronumeral by itself. To do that, you always want to do the opposite. Add and subtracts are opposites of each other. Multiply and divides are opposites of each other. So we're going to start with some one-step equations, and we're gradually going to build up into the two and brackets and other types of equations as well. Okay, so the ones that I've got highlighted, the first one here, a plus 16 equals 34. Here is a, I want it by itself. So I need to get rid of this 16. What is the opposite of a plus 16, Rihanna? Good, so underneath, you must write minus 16 under both sides of the equal sign because you're trying to keep your equation balanced. Plus 16 minus 16 will cancel off, and then you'll have a by itself, and you will type into your calculator 34 minus 16 to get your answer, which is 18. That's it. That's a one-step equation. Let's do another one. D. Trying to trick you a little bit here because we have 15 plus C equals 16. Normally we like to say C plus 15. We like them around the other way. But we can still do it. The C is what I want by itself. What is the opposite of the 15? Minus. Good. So we go minus 15 here, minus 15 there. Cancel away those 15s. If you don't cross them out, that's okay. But it is nice to see them disappearing so you can see what's left. Because the C is now what's left here. And on this side, 16 take away 15 is 1. Done. Let's keep going. J. M take away 6 equals 15. I want the M. I need the opposite of minus 6. What's the opposite? Plus. So I put plus 6 under here, plus 6 under there. All right, these will disappear. M is now by itself. And on this side, 15 plus 6 is 21. Good. That's the adding and subtracting. If we look into question 2 here, next to each other means times, and fractions mean divide. So this is your multiply and divide questions. If I have 4 times by x, my opposite is to divide by 4. Okay, that will leave the x by itself. And 32, we divide these numbers. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Whereas when we see this one, y over 5 or divided by 5, the opposite of divide is to times. I'm going to times by 5 underneath here. Y equals 8 times 5, which is 40. All right, so I've shown you one of each of the add, subtract, multiply, divide for one-step equations. Now we move up to two-step equations. It's 2 steps. Actually, this is a bit of a bridge in between. This is a 2-step equation because I have 2 terms here that I can collect, which doesn't always happen. But if they are both x's, we can add them together. What is 2x plus 3x? 5 x's. Good. So 5x equals 15. Okay, now I can do my opposite. What's my opposite of this 5? Good, yes, divide. So let's go divide by 5, divide by 5. X equals 3 because 15 divided by 5 is 3. Let's try that again. 6y take away 4y. What's 6 take away 4? 2. That will be 2y equals 10. Okay, now I want to get rid of my 2. How do I do that? Yes. Divide the 2. And now we get our answer. Y equals, divide these numbers, 5. Very good. Okay, next page. Question 4. This is a one step again. I'm not sure why. There's more fraction ones in here. So what is the opposite? It's a fraction. That means divide. So the opposite is going to be times by 3. So we're going to have x equals 9 times 3, which is 27. Please remember that you get marks for the working out. So it is important that you're showing these instructions. If you just put the answers, you'll only get half a mark. Okay, here we go, question 5 with the normal looking two-step equations. Because we have got an x here, 1x this time, but we have got two numbers on the left side of that equation that we need to move away. And the important decision for you is, which number do you do first? Okay, the tip was you start further away and you're gradually working your way closer to the x. So the 4, the minus 4 has to go first. What's the opposite? Yes, plus 4, plus 4. They will disappear. So we have 5x remaining. 16 plus 4 is 20. So you would have earned yourself 1 mark so far. Now we want to do the second step, which is to get rid of this 5. The opposite is to divide. So I go divide by 5 to get rid of that. X is by itself. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So remember when we did this in the test, it was half mark here, half mark for the 5x equals 20. Half mark for the divide by 5, and the final half mark for the 4. With that setting out. Going down the page, please. Let's try again. G. Here's the M. So I have two numbers here on that left-hand side with the M. Which number goes first, and what do I do with it, Talent? Pay attention. Who can help? Hayden. Unfortunately, no, but nice try. It's the 27. The M is right here. These two are together. These two are locked together. That one has to go first. Okay, so that 27 is actually positive. The minus belongs with the 3. Because the 27 is positive, I need to subtract it. I still have the minus in front of the 3m. 0 minus 27 is minus 27. The second step is to get rid of the negative 3. Now, I know the opposite of a minus 3 is a plus 3, but that's not going to work for this. They are times at the moment. So the opposite's going to be divide. I need to divide by negative 3. So that will give m equals, and be careful with your negative signs, 2 negatives divided will make a positive. 27 divided by 3 is 9, so it's positive 9. You writing this down? Question 6, more 2 steps down here. So here's the x, 2 numbers. Which one do I do first? Everybody knows? It's 2, 3 is correct. The 2 and the x are tied together on the top of that fraction. So we have to get rid of the bottom first. I'm going to do the opposite, times by 3. Okay, gets rid of this. 2x equals 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, second step, get rid of the 2. It's multiplied. Opposite is to divide. X equals 12. All right, this one here, we are now graduating to a 3-step equation. Look, here's the A. I have a 2, I have an 8, and I have a 7. 3 numbers that need to be moved. Whenever there is a fraction that is on, you have all this stuff on the top here, I can't do anything with this stuff on the top while that 7 is there. Okay, you can't move an 8 when it still has a 7 underneath it. All right, so you have to get rid of that 7 first. Let's times the 7. We will have 2a plus 8 equals 42. Okay, now out of these two, the 8 is next. Let's subtract it. 2a equals 34. And last step, divide the 2. A equals 17. Okay, is it making sense? Is it all coming back? Because the equation test was one of the best class averages that we've probably had all year. It was a very well done topic. Let's go on to the next ones. Question 7, solve the following, and we have brackets. Now, when we did this, I showed you 2 ways to do it. One is to expand the bracket, and the second option is to divide the 3 away straight away. We kind of got to the point in that topic where we just said, let's just stick to one method, which was expanding, because we've done expanding so many times with our algebra. So let's stick with that one for showing up here. If you remember the other one, though, you're welcome to use it. Expanding the brackets. I'm going to do 3 times x, which is 3x. Then there is a plus in my bracket, and I'm going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. And then equals the 21. So I'm just timesing the bracket out, and now I'm ready to do equations. So here's my x, get rid of these numbers, starting with the 6. Let's minus it. Minus 6, minus 6. 3x equals 15. Now get rid of the 3. So I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. X is equal to 5. Okay. And let's do another bracket one just to make sure you remember it. Everyone written that down? Everyone's got that? No? Oop. Oh, well, let's do another one. Yeah, you ready now? Yep, good. All right. Next one. Let's try it again. First step is to times out the bracket. 5 times 2n. 5 times 2 is 10n. This time we have a minus in the bracket, so put your minus sign down. 5 times 1 is 5. And then just go equals the 25. Okay? Here's my n. 2 numbers. Start here. Opposite of minus 5 is to plus 5. Oh. So we have 10n equals 30. Okay, second step, get rid of the 10 by dividing. N is by itself. 30 divided by 10 is 3. Yeah? All right, then there's a few wordy questions. 8 says, write an equation and then solve it for each of the following statements that are here. So I'm thinking of a number. And when it says that, you're going to choose a letter to represent that number. I don't mind what it is. A, B, X, Y, Z, doesn't really matter. Is that a question, really? So maybe I'll choose X. X is a pretty normal letter to use when we're doing equations. So I'm going to use X. So X is multiplied by 4. Ooh, how do we do that? 4x. Good. So let's start with that. We're multiplying it by 4. Next part says, and then subtract 9. So that means minus 9. The answer is, when it says answer, that means your equal sign, equals 23. So see how when I read the question, I read it in little chunks so that I could write down each thing as it happened. I had a number, x. I multiplied it by 4, so it was 4x. Then subtract 9, so minus 9. The answer is 23. Okay, now we have to solve it with the working. So opposite of minus 9 is to plus 9. So we will have 4x equals 32. Then we're going to divide the 4, and I'm running out of room here. I might have to go sideways because I've run out of room. X equals 8. So the number we were looking for was 8. Okay? With these questions, you still need to show the starting equation, because it's not enough just to go, I can think of a number and guess and check it in my head and know that my number is 8. If you just write the answer down, you're not going to get the full marks. You have to show that you can make the equation, and then you can do the right skills to solve it. I think that might be the end. Yeah, that is the end for today. All right, we're done.